70 to 80% of your customers will buy once and never come back again. But that doesn't have to be the case. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a first-time buyer post-purchase flow that's able to maximize returning customer rates and LTV of all new customers you acquire. So, what is the importance of a post-purchase flow? Now, firstly, to enhance customer experience and actually start building that brand loyalty and affinity, which is so important in today's e-commerce landscape because there are so many brands, so much competition that it's becoming harder and harder to stand out. So if we can have that edge with a brilliant post-purchase flow that starts to build this customer experience and actually get them more invested in the brand, then you're going to stand out. Next is, as soon as someone purchases, there's a whole wave of emotions that they experience. Excitement, apprehension, maybe a bit of regret, a load of emotions, and we have to tackle these and actually maintain communication in that crucial period of placing an order and waiting for it to arrive. And then secondly, a lot of e-commerce brands, they secure that first purchase and they think their job is done, where really it just starts. So rather than going and chasing the next new customer, they really need to focus on this existing customer and drive as much profitable revenue out of them as they can. So a really good post-purchase flow for first-time buyers sets the stage for whether a customer is going to stay or not. Of course, a high-quality product is needed, but there are a lot of brands out there with high-quality products. So ultimately, a good experience alongside this is going to help you stand out and get them coming back. And this is just a really relevant image to a lot of e-commerce brands, post-purchase flows. I'm sure, like me, some of you have purchased something and immediately you think, have I gone with the right brand? Should I have gone for a cheaper option? Should I have gone for a more expensive option? And again, this ties into point 2 where people start feeling so many emotions. So we need to handle these. Now, the goals of the post-purchase flow, really it boils down to 3 main goals. Firstly, eliminate buyer's remorse. Secondly, facilitate adoption and habit formation of your product. Thirdly, drive traffic back to your website. Now, all of these sort of boil down into 2 key goals. Reducing the average time between your first and second orders, which ultimately is going to help with cash flow and make it far easier to scale. Secondly, is increasing your repurchase rate, at a profitable, stream. So the post-purchase flow, a lot of brands, again, will trigger it off the placed order metric. Now, this is, one way to do it, but ultimately we like to split post-purchase flows into 2 distinctive flows. The first is triggered on a placed order event. So I'll show you here. Now, the flow filters, obviously cancelled order, refunded order 0 times since starting this flow. We don't want to be sending post-purchase communications to someone that has changed their mind and doesn't want the product. That's going to annoy them. They're probably going to mark it as spam. That's going to hurt your deliverability. And then, of course, as this is a first-time buyer post-purchase, we're only showing this to people that have placed 1 order over all time. So this first flow is really the flow that tackles buyer's remorse as soon as they place the order. So placed order, create exclude is true. As I've shown in other flow videos, we want to have a segment of people that are in flows that we don't send campaigns to maintain that quality customer journey. A 10-minute time delay before the first email. Reason being is as soon as someone places an order, they're going to receive the transactional emails of, your order's been received. This is what you ordered sort of thing. So we don't want the emails to clash. Ultimately, one of them won't get opened or they might get annoyed receiving a high volume of emails at the same time. So there's a couple ways or couple angles that you can take with this email. This is the first one that typically we tend to favor, which is a thank you and an omni-channel push. So firstly, we need to show gratitude. The fact that a customer has gone with your brand over the hundreds, thousands of other brands is really important, and we really need to show appreciation for this. And then the reason why we're pushing to omni-channel is naturally you're going to have email list churn. People tend to stop opening emails after 90, 120 days. So if we can get them onto, be it your Instagram, your Facebook, TikTok, wherever you are, they're ultimately going to have more touch points with the brand, and you're going to stay top of mind, ultimately helping them come back, place another order. And then, of course, we have a day where we wait and then we update exclude as true. Now, I mentioned there's 2 angles that you can take. Some brands favor the thank you and immediate upsell. This can work for some brands depending on what you're selling. Let's say, for example, a sock brand. everyone needs more socks. So, in that first email, you could go take that angle. Everyone needs more socks. Here's a discount. Get some more. You won't run the risk of them being out of stock. But for other brands, something like a luxury fashion brand or a furniture brand, we don't really want to be going in with an upsell. We need to be showing that appreciation, making sure that we're not sort of brushing them off as if they're another customer and saying, oh yeah, buy more. So it's really brand dependent. What we tend to favor is going for the upsell at checkout or as soon as they place that order with an app like Aftersell, because it's much more high intent. You've got them when they're at their hottest. You're not waiting for them to receive an email and have to come back. They're in that buying frenzy and we're capitalizing on that. So that's the first flow that uses a placed order trigger. Now, this is where sort of the best or the biggest flow comes in, and this is triggered off the fulfilled order event. Now, the reason we trigger it off the fulfilled order event is obviously we want to time these emails with when the product is going to arrive. If we're sending them all the emails, weeks before it arrives or days after it arrives, then again, it's not really going to align with the customer journey and your returning customer rate is going to take a hit because of it. So the flow filters are going to be the exact same as the previous one. Again, like I said, fulfilled order is the trigger. Same with the exclude in 10 minutes. Now, in an ideal scenario, if you have multiple SKUs, let's say a supplement brand, we want to have multiple paths, multiple emails, depending on what they've purchased. So it's much more relevant to them. And ultimately, they're going to get the most use out of the product that they've ordered. So we've got conditional splits here. So it could be like items contains X, items contains Y. You can do this for as many products as you want. Of course, it's going to get more convoluted with the more products you have. So really focus on your top sellers, be it your top 3 to 5. Now, the first email is focused purely on eliminating buyer's remorse. So again, like I said, there's a whole load of emotions that people feel as soon as they place an order. So we're going to want to reassure their purchase decision and say, no, we know there's loads of other brands out there. You've made the right decision. And we're going to do this through reiterating brand values and our sort of mission statement, our brand strengths and USPs, and then reinforcing these with social proof. So people directly saying, I love this brand because X, Y, Z, and that supports what you've just claimed. Because anyone can make a big, bold claim, but ultimately without social proof, it's not that effective. And of course, this is going to be the same across the board, regardless of the product. Now, this is where the emails really start to differ. So the product education emails. What is the importance of a product education email? Well, ultimately, like I was saying, there are thousands of brands out there that probably sell something very similar to you. So we need to make sure that we educate them on how to use the product effectively so they integrate it into their lifestyle and ultimately get the best results. If someone's not using something as it should be used, then they're not going to see the best results. They're going to think that the product's bad. They're going to go elsewhere. So it's our job to say, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you get the best results. These are some tips and tricks. So again, like I said, it enhances sort of product use for maximum results. And there's various angles you can take depending on the product that you're selling. So a supplement, we might want to say you take it in the morning or you take it at night, take it with food sort of thing. If it's something like furniture, we might want to educate them on how to care for it, how to clean it, these sort of things. And this is all going to build confidence in their product choice. Because again, outside of buyer's remorse in terms of have I gone with the right brand, there's buyer's remorse in terms of did I choose the right product for my situation? So we want to back up those claims and say, no, you've done the right thing. Again, tailor this to the product so it's more relevant to that person. Email 3. Now, this is a habit formation email. Why do we want them to build the habit? Again, the more they integrate it into their lifestyle, the much more likely they're to see results and the much more likely they're going to want to come back and replenish, provided that it is a replenishable product. So there's multiple ways that you can do this. A few, like a big way or a great way of doing this is private communities. So brands like Ovi, Crossrope, etc., they all have big private communities where people go in there, they post, ask questions, whatever it is, and there's a load of people there to answer them. So instantly they feel part of a bigger mission. They feel like they have a say, and ultimately, they're building that brand affinity. So that's a great way to push them to be it a Facebook group, Discord, depending on what sort of brand you are. Next is an incentivized challenge. So we recently worked with a teeth whitening brand, and we had a sort of 30-day teeth whitening challenge where you take a photo before in natural lighting before you've used the product. You then take a photo, 28, 30 days after you've used your treatment. The best transformation wins. So not only are you showing social proof of other people that have done this, but you're encouraging people to consistently use their product to get the best results and ultimately win, the giveaway, be it an Amazon gift card, a gift card for the store, some sort of discount percentage. This is going to encourage people to use the product and get the best results. Now, email 4, this is a really good one to do. Like I said at the start, we want to drive as much traffic back to the website as we can within those first 30, 60 days. A quiz email is a great way of doing this. Now, this email really gamifies the sort of customer experience and doesn't feel like a typical sales email or what have you. So let's say, for example, a supplement brand. They've recently, produced a blog that talks about a certain supplement, talks about its, features, benefits, whatever it is, and there's a really cool fact in there. We might want to create an email around that saying, supplement X does this, talk about the fact, which option do you think it is? So again, it's multiple choice. They can click on whichever option they think. That's going to drive them to the blog where they can find the answer. And ultimately, there's going to be products on that blog page that they could potentially, be cross-sold on. So there's various ways that you can do the quiz email. Just make it, so seamless that people just naturally want to click and engage with it and ultimately be taken back to the website where they can potentially make a second purchase. Email 5 is then a push for repeat purchase. Now, as you can see, we've got time delays between these emails, but it is going to be very brand dependent and product dependent. So take these with a pinch of salt. These are sort of just here as an example. Now, in terms of repeat purchase, again, I keep saying supplements can be things like skincare. This is, about 2 weeks after. We might check in and say, what are the results you're sort of seeing, show them some kind of social proof of other people that started their journey and say, look, do you want to, get some more, try out this product? And of course, as we're splitting the email flow based on the product, we could then go in and show them a relevant product and talk about its complementary benefits to the one that they've ordered. And ultimately, again, it's much more relevant. They're much more likely to purchase. And then finally, we've got an email 6, which is survey collection, qualitative data sort of collection. Again, got X days here because it's very dependent on what you're selling, depending on the sort of buying cycle. But this email here will only go to people that haven't placed a second order. Now, the reason we're sending this email is we want to understand, what it is that stopped them from buying again. Is it they still got the product to use? Is it that they didn't get the results they expected? Maybe they've gone with a competitor. We want to start asking these questions and gauge what, the reasons why people aren't buying, and ultimately use this to refine your entire funnel, not just your emails. It could be, refining your ads, refining your landing pages, refining the checkout experience, all of these factors to ultimately help your conversion rates and help more customers come back. And then, of course, 2 days later, update excluded false, and we can continue sending campaigns to these people. So if you're an e-commerce brand that needs help setting up their post-purchase flow to maximize retention, returning customer rates, and ultimately generate more revenue from their email marketing, book a call with me below in the link. You'll talk to myself directly. We'll have a look at your brand, see where the gaps are in your strategy, and if it makes sense, provide a free comprehensive audit.